right now we're going to take a look at Mike Allen in Cleveland, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Pick Central game. Go ahead and tell us about that, Mike.
Welcome to Score on Air. I'm Mike Allen, and I got one question for you out there. Are you ready for some football? Well, you're in the right place. I have your preview of the Division I state semifinal between the undefeated Pickerington Central Tigers and the 9-1 Mentor Cardinals. This is the Week 11 game of the week, and I cannot wait for this game. With a trip to Columbus on the line to play for a state title, let's see how these two programs got here. Pick Central over the last 4 weeks has ran off 4 dominating victories, beating Grove City 49-0, Hilliard Darby 35-16, Hilliard Bradley 35-7, and Westerville Central 38-7. While Mentor has also cruised to 4 dominating victories, beating Shaker Heights 69-13, Stowe Monroe Falls 31-14, Brunswick 37-21, and Medina 49-14 to set up this state semifinal this Friday night versus the defending state champion Tigers at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium at 7 p.m. Look, this game has the potential to be a shootout. The Tigers come in led by Northwestern recruit senior running back Garner Wallace. Wallace has great size at 6'5" and 185 pounds. Last week he rushed the ball 131 yards and 3 touchdowns versus Westerville Central. On the other side of the ball, Mentor is led by senior dual-threat quarterback Ian Kipp. Last week, the 195-pound, 6'2" quarterback threw 4 touchdowns and ran for 2 more. On the season, Kipp has already thrown for 2,000 yards, and as a team, Mentor has already rushed for over 1,900 yards. This prolific offense is already looking to get their first state championship in school history. Weather's not going to be a factor. It's going to be 40 degrees and it's going to be dry. But it's Northeast Ohio. What do you expect? We got cold and it's going to be football. So I tell you what, you got Pickerington Central, you got Mentor. With 2 teams like this, we're just going to throw these stats out the window and get it on. This game is going to be one for the ages, an epic showdown. And I'm more than ready for it. I'm Mike Allen, and this is Score on Air.
All right, thank you, Mike, for that wonderful preview of Pick Central. Before we get started about talking about Pick Central a little bit, I just want to mention some of the Central District teams still remaining in the playoffs. We have Pick Central, St. Francis de Sales, Bishop Hartley, Bloom Carroll, and Newark Catholic. Just for some of you who don't know, those are the teams in Central Ohio who are still, in the playoffs. So let's talk a little bit about Pick Central versus Mentor. Mentor is 9-1 today, and Pick Central is 10-0. Okay. Ty, do you want to start us off with this?
Well, yeah, I would actually, because
I
picked against them last week, but I know I'm not going to do that this week. 38-7 win over Westerville Central. Gardner Wallace, who it looks like a running back, rushes for 3 touchdowns and passes for 1, so total 4 total touchdowns. Big surprise on this, Lorenzo Stiles only rushed for 27 yards. I'm not sure whether he got shut down. Maybe Westerville Central dug a little bit deeper into what he does. But 322 total rushing yards versus Westerville Central. And 2 fun facts here really quick. They defeated Mentor 56-28 in the 2017 state championship, and then defeated them again last year 28-21 in the state semifinal. So with those 2 things in mind, Mentor might be looking for some revenge, but I don't see that happening against Pickerington Central.
Okay, Anthony, sorry.
For me, with this game, Pickerington Central is designed to stop the spread offense of Mentor. That's what Mentor likes to do, is spread you out and throw the football. I wouldn't be too concerned with Stiles' production. Coach Sherritt kind of likes to save him. If you play spades, he's kind of like that joker. He uses him when he needs to. And last week, it seemed like the offense was kind of going. They gave him a couple touches. Expect for him to be a factor on defense. Expect for him to be a factor in the return game. But as they go on, and especially in this Final Four, you'll see him get the ball a little more. Took Mosley a little while to get going last week, but he ended up having a good game overall. I think Garner Wallace is that X factor, kind of like Dimitri Crenshaw was last year. Mm-hmm. Crenshaw was amazing, making plays with his feet. Garner can do some of the same types of things, and he even got the ball downfield a couple times last week. So I think Pickerington Central is the favorite. I'm pulling for them to win. I'm going to pick them. I'll go out on a limb. I don't think it's really a limb. Yeah. Mentor's solid. You got to respect them, but pick Central.
Go ahead.
So last season in the state semifinal, Pick Central held on to the win. Was it 28-21? Yep. And you said that you don't foresee them like Mentor.
I don't see Mentor. I mean, granted,
maybe
that might be
coming back and being like, hey, this is our time.
Yeah. I don't see Mentor happen. I mean, you did mention that Mentor does like to throw the ball. Ian Kipp has thrown for over 2,000 yards so far and 26 touchdowns. I don't see him being as productive as he has been this season against Pickerington Central. But with what you were talking about, I don't see – I mean, that might be in the back of their mind. Obviously, it happened last year, but Pickerington Central is just too good. And I'm picking Pick Central.
Yeah, what makes Pickerington Central so tough is that front seven led by like Doggett, Gillison. They put pressure on you. Then on the back end, you got the Styles brothers. You got a safety that's 6'4", 6'5", that can cover sideline to sideline. You got A.J. Sanders who can cover. I mean, they're loaded. They're athletic. Look, anybody can win. I was actually at a high school football game in a state championship game where Coach Brian White takes Hilliard Davidson up against Glenville, who had several future Buckeyes, Michigan Wolverines, and NFL players, and Davidson pulled it out. So anything can happen. But with Pickerington Central, I think they have that dynamic where they have the talent and the coaching all wrapped up in one. I think that's what makes them so good. That's why they have 2 rings, and I think they're going to get a 3rd this year.
So Mentor has a few players returning, so you don't think that's going to have any effect on the game? You know what I mean? Like, this is I wouldn't say it's the same team returning, but it's kind of like it is. So,
yeah.
like I said,
like core players.
Right. So, I mean, the game was only 28-21 last year, so you don't see.
I think definitely.
Closer,
I mean, I don't know if it'll necessarily be closer, but I mean, as a player, you hope for this, right? But you can't get ahead of yourself. You do it one game at a time. So I'm sure the Mentor kids were thinking, if we do this, this, and this, I'd love another shot at Pickerington. And anybody in the state has to know at some point you're going to have to play Pickerington to win your state title. So it's something that definitely they might have had on their mind, but I don't know if that's going to, help it be closer. Pick Central, it's kind of tough to say this, but I think they may even be better this year than they were last year.